When life feels heavy, when your chest tightens and your mind becomes loud with all the things you could be done differently, pause. Breathe. You don't need to have everything figured out right now. You don't need to run faster, or prove your worth to the world that barely looks up long enough to see you. The truth is, peace doesn't come when everything around you is perfect. It comes when you learn to be gentle with yourself, even when everything falls apart. The journey of becoming who you're meant to be is not a straight line, it's a long road of heartbreaks, mistakes, lessons, and quiet moments where you think you're done, but somehow, you keep going. Because something inside you refuses to give up. Something deep within still believes that maybe, just maybe, your story is far from over. There was once a woman who felt lost in the noise of her own life. Every morning, she woke up to the same routine: coffee, work, smile, pretend. She was surrounded by people, but inside, she felt invisible. No one knew how often she sat in her car before entering her house, staring at the steering wheel, whispering to herself, "I'm okay," even when she wasn't. She used to dream once of painting, of traveling, of writing, but those dreams were buried under deadlines, bills, and expectations. She didn't hate her life, but she didn't love it either. She was just existing. One evening, as she was walking home, she noticed an old man sitting by a small bridge feeding birds. He looked peaceful, like the world couldn't touch him. Out of curiosity, she sat beside him. After a few moments of silence, she asked, "How do you stay so calm when everything feels so uncertain?" The man smiled and replied, "Because I stopped waiting for life to make sense before I started living it." She looked confused, so he continued, "When I was your age, I wasted years chasing the idea of a perfect life: more money, more success, more everything. But every time I reached one goal, my heart was already chasing the next. I was never satisfied because I believed happiness was somewhere ahead of me. Then one day, I lost everything: my business, my home, my health. And in that silence, I found something I'd never had before: myself. I realized happiness is not found in reaching more, but in needing less." That night, his words echoed in her mind. She looked around her small apartment: the same walls, the same lights, the same silence, but for the first time, she noticed the beauty in it. She realized that peace wasn't hiding from her. She had just been too busy running to see it. She made a promise to herself that from that day on, she would start living slowly, intentionally, and honestly. She began painting again, not for money, but for her soul. She started walking every morning just to feel the air, not to burn calories. She began saying no to things that drained her, and yes to things that made her feel alive. People noticed the change: her smile was softer, her eyes brighter. One friend asked her, "What happened to you? You look free." She laughed gently and said, "I stopped trying to fix everything outside and started healing what was inside." Over time, she learned that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's choosing to rest when the world tells you to run. It's choosing to keep faith when you don't see results. It's forgiving yourself for not being perfect. Because life isn't about being unbreakable, it's about being soft enough to bend and still stand tall after every storm. So if you're reading this and you feel tired, lost, or stuck, know this: nothing is wrong with you. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply growing in a world that rushes healing. One day, you will wake up and realize that the pain that once consumed you has turned into wisdom. The loneliness that once suffocated you has turned into peace. The confusion that once scared you has turned into clarity. Your story is still unfolding, and the chapter you're in right now, no matter how dark, is not the end. The world may not see your strength, but every breath you take in pain and still choose to hope, is proof that you are becoming something beautiful. So keep going. Not because everything is fine, but because one day, it will be. And when that day comes, you'll look back and realize every broken piece was leading you to the version of yourself that was